This is the Book Deal podcast,
where you will discover the inspiring stories behind your favourite books.
We interview seasoned and debut authors, as well as publishing industry professionals, to bring you the best tips and advice on how to get that elusive book deal.
So no matter what stage of writing you're at, we've got you covered. I'm Tina Strachan.
I'm Madeline Cleary.
And I'm Natasha Rye.
And join us as we pull back the curtain of published authors.
One deal at a time. The Book Deal podcast acknowledges the traditional owners of the land and waters which it's recorded on, and pays respect to their elders past, present and emerging.
Hi, Natasha Rye. How are you going?
Oh, good, Tina Strachan. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Just the two of us today.
I know, it's a bit sad.
It is a bit sad. No Mads today, but she's been a busy lady and working very hard. Yes, so having to skip this catch-up, but I'm sure we'll have a nice big catch-up when we chat to her next time. But speaking of catch-ups, tell me, what have you been up to?
You know what? I would actually like one catch-up episode for me to go, you know what? I've been really free and easy and have nothing on. But it's never the way. No, I would like one. I'm still waiting for one to say that. So I had some really lovely news. So I didn't score a place for one of the Varuna fellowships, but I was highly commended, which is the first time that's ever happened. So
Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
it
awesome.
felt it's both really cool and also like, just missed out. But given that they had an unprecedented number of submissions for this one, I feel very grateful that that I got a named place, so to speak.
Absolutely. Can you tell people a little bit who don't know about Varuna what Varuna is?
Yes, so Varuna they call the National Writers' House, and it used to be owned by Eleanor and Mick Dark, who were writers and lived there. And now that it's been donated and it's run by trust for writers to come and stay and write. And you can, so Varuna run a series of fellowships and residencies all year round on their own and then in partnerships with different writer centres in each state. And if you're an alumnus, that's the right word, yes, you can actually just pay and go. So,
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, so I think you could just pay and go at any time, but now I think it's only for alumni who have that opportunity. So once you go and stay there, you can just write to them and see the next available, and you can just pay and go. And the cool thing is it's not just you go and stay there, but all your meals are cooked for you. So you get your every dinner is cooked for you. There's an amazing library. The grounds are just beautiful. It's in Katoomba in the Blue Mountains. So lots of beautiful walks, and this town centre is really nearby, so you can get good coffee if you want. It's just an amazing place. I've visited writers who've been staying there, but I haven't yet been able to score a fellowship or a residency opportunity myself. But it's
getting closer.
Hopefully, yes, we'll see. Yeah. So their main one are the Varuna fellowships every year, and I think you can check their website, but I'm pretty sure that they offer 50 places. Yeah. So it's through various, and then you can look at the categories, because there's specific categories. For example, if you're a carer, there's this category that you can enter, and it's not like you can't enter the general plus whatever else. So when you look at the application form, because it's annual, you'll see that you can just tick whichever boxes apply to you. And then, of course, just check your State Writer Centre to see what other opportunities there are.
Yeah, Queensland Writer Centre, I noticed, because I'm part of Queensland Writer Centre, recently had them open as well. So
that's right.
Yes, just check your local Writers Centre for when they have them open.
Exactly.
Oh, well, I'm sad that you missed out, Tash, but excited because it's getting close and highly commended. That's incredible.
Yeah, it
sounds
is.
like there was lots of amazing authors who they just couldn't decide from.
Yeah, I mean, they had 812 entries. So it's a real honour to be highly commended. So that happened. That was great. What else? So I'm just about to go into copy edits on the Bride Price. So I'm waiting to hear back from that. Touch wood, it's not going to be major. And the other thing I'm doing is I'm prepping for the QLit Festival in Melbourne in a couple of weeks. So I'm on a panel with some amazing poet and a short story writer and a novelist. Actually, it's Samantha By's novel, who was a debut from last year. Dead Ends is her novel.
Wow.
So I'm just reading those works and getting together all my ideas about what I want to talk to them about. And then I'm also prepping for a workshop that I'm doing at the Hunter Writers Centre on the 25th of July. So if you're in Newcastle, people, come along. It's about complicated characters, and I love a complicated character. It's going to be really, really practical, hands-on, quite fast-paced. So check it out on their website. Come along if you can.
I love that. So does it just go for an hour? How long
No,
does your
it's
workshop go
4
for?
hours.
4 hours?
Yep.
Nice.
I think it's 1 till 5.
Yeah, because you said fast paced, so I thought, okay, how do you do that in like,
Yeah.
because a lot of kids workshops that I do, I only go for an hour. That's all you can really keep them,
exactly.
keep them
No,
for.
this is So what we're going to do is the first couple of hours is going to be just looking at how you can start to think about your characters, what you need to think, like how you can think about them, what you can put on the page. And then the second half of the workshop, the last couple of hours, we're going to put them in some really stressful and demanding situations and see what happens. So it'll be
That sounds
hopefully
like lots of
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like awesome fun. But yes, so definitely not just been doing nothing, have you, over the last month?
Plus client
I love
work,
that.
yes. Yep.
Yeah.
How
Oh,
about
cool.
you, Tina?
Look, I've been having a little less on, I think,
Oh,
which
that
has
sounds
actually been
good.
nice.
Mm.
But I've had school holidays, right? So it's been really good to actually just take that time. And so instead of sitting in front of the computer, we went to the circus, which was incredible, by the way. Like,
I didn't even know
circus is,
circuses still
well, I
existed.
actually don't think they call it a circus anymore, but there's still like a big top tent sort of thing. And like, there's no animals and that kind of thing, but it's just all like entertainers and performers and just so fun. Yeah, and just going to the movies and going to some theme parks and just having a good old fun time, which has been really good. And because I had a few writing projects on the go that I've sort of, handed in, so they've just come to a little point. And I did think to myself, I'll take a little bit of time to get back on top of my admin, because I tend to really hyper focus when I've got something that I'm trying to wrap up or that I have due. And I kind of sometimes let the rest of the admin go to the wayside. So I thought, okay, well, once I've handed that in, I'll just try and get on top of my admin. So I've been doing that, which is, I guess, I don't know, a little bit easier. It's just been easier. So I felt like I haven't been so busy. But then, you know what? I read something the other day about people who write every day, which I normally do. I do normally write every day. I've done it for a really long time. And then I realized that I haven't really been doing that over the last few weeks. Like, I've really just been like, okay, because the next piece that I'm going to get stuck into is quite a full-on one, and so I know I'm going to get super hyper focused on that, and it won't leave me. So I thought, no, just maybe take a little break. So I thought that was going to be a good idea, and it probably is a good idea. But I read this thing the other day about Stephen King and how he writes, and because he does like 2,000 words a day, apparently 2,000 words a day every day, doesn't matter. 2,000 words a day. And they were talking about how that affects your brain and the processes of it being similar to sports people. So like the feeling and the everything that his brain is receiving from writing every day and completing this task is similar to that of athletes and who are training every day, and that feeling of there's endorphins and there's dopamine and all that sort of thing that they're getting every day, and it's sort of it's kind of addictive, and it's just part of what they do.
So is he just, did it say that he's working on like a project at a time, or just as long as he gets 2,000 words down, it doesn't matter?
Yeah, he's just, as long as he gets 2,000 words out. I'd say he's probably always working on a project, right? Like, he's just not bashing the books out, but they're definitely still coming. So I'd say he's probably always got something on the go. Yeah, I mean, even if he probably writes the words and just ditches them at some point,
does
it's about the
2,000
muscle.
does 2,000 words sound like a lot to you?
It doesn't sound like a lot if you're Stephen King, I don't reckon. I feel like this is his full-time job.
That's true.
I don't know. 2,000 words is like, because sometimes I can do 2,000 words pretty quickly, but that's on a good, like, flowy day, and I've got the time to do it. But then, sometimes you can do 200 words in that same time because it just didn't flow. And surely, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So 2,000 words, maybe it's 2,000 new words a day. And then, because we all know with edits and stuff, like, every time he has to edit a book, which, I don't know. Do you reckon Stephen King has to do much editing? Do you reckon there's any editor out there that's like, I'm just going to send all this structural editing feedback back to him, or do you think he can probably
surely, because
do you reckon he's just got it nailed though, and no one's really questioning him?
well, I think if you write like he does, surely your first draft is actually like someone else's like version of a fifth draft. Like even what comes out initially would be of a high. But I've noticed that about my work. Like what I produced as a zero draft isn't it stinks, but it's not as stinky as
it used to be.
Ago.
Yeah. No, he would produce some high quality work, and I'd say the editing is no, I don't think anyone's probably telling him to change his storyline anyway.
But don't you think no matter how big you get, wouldn't you want to be edited properly? I'm not saying he's not edited properly, but wouldn't you want an editor to be like, you know what?
Oh, surely.
I'm gonna really make this the best possible work, even if you are Stephen King.
Yeah. Oh, and surely just to catch things, because he's only human, and we all like make mistakes, or
exactly.
I guess it's their job to sort of vibe what's happening out in the world as well. So, he could maybe be touching on some things that they don't really want to. I don't know. I'm just making suggestions, but that's what their job is, I suppose. Yeah, surely. I would love to know. Let's find out who his editor is and get him
exactly. Well, I mean, I've heard Richard Flanagan speak, and he's been with his editor / publisher for 30 years. And he trusts her so much. And I've heard him say that. And so I think he's really aware that, I don't know if she edits him differently now, but he obviously trusts her to do it.
Yeah. What a beautiful relationship to have someone to work with someone for 30 years. That's amazing. What I was saying with the 2,000 words, 2,000 words a day is that it is like for him, it's a muscle memory and like strengthening his muscle and working his muscles, and like any other athlete would be training. And but then it went on to say, so as any peak athlete, if they have a week off of any training, which I don't know if they would do that often, but maybe back it up a bit. But if they have any time off, it's extra super hard to get your muscles back into it like that following week. And so I was like, oh crap, I've sort of not ridden very much for a couple of weeks. I hope it's not going to be backfire on me.
Yeah,
but we'll see. I'll let you know next time, because I've sort of already made the plan in my head. Okay, tomorrow morning I'm getting up and I'm starting again, which is kind of exciting.
It is exciting. Yeah.
To get stuck back into it. So we will talk about a couple of things today, won't we, Tash? And the first one, I guess, that we wanted to talk about was book boxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me,
promotional
Tina.
boxes.
Yes, tell me.
So for those, I guess, that don't know what I guess a promotional book box is, so that's not the book boxes that are subscriptions that you can apply for and you get delivered, but promotional book boxes, which some publishers will create for some books. And I came to mind because I received a really beautiful book box over the last week from Penguin Random House, and it's for a book called Protector of Beyond by Shara Curlett. And you haven't seen this, have you, Tash?
No, I haven't.
To show you. Look how cool this is.
Oh my gosh, that is so striking.
I know, isn't it beautiful? So Protector of Beyond.
Sorry, because I just saw, for people who cannot see, because obviously this is a podcast, Tina is holding up what looks like the size of it. Is it a shoebox size or a bit bigger?
It's a little bit smaller.
Smaller, oh, okay. And it's this amazing image of a young person riding what looks like a wolf. It is incredibly striking, because on the top is the name of the book and the author. And when Tina turned it over, I could see on the flap the actual wolf, which is just amazing. Yeah.
And it's beautiful, these deep maroons and reds and all those sorts of things. And so Protector of Beyond, it's the first book in a series, middle grade series, fantasy. It's very cool. So it's a promotional box, obviously, which they can send to like bookstagrammers. Like I was fortunate enough to get one of these boxes as well. And I'll open it for you. Sorry, there's going to be all these weird noises, which I'll try and edit out. But so it's even all printed on the inside.
Oh, in the inside, it says, "Welcome to Beyond. If you spark, you fight."
I know. How exciting is that? Like, honestly, they have just done a really great job of hyping it, just with the words and the visuals and everything. We are working on our YouTube channel, aren't we, Tash? So soon people will actually be able to see this.
Yes.
Anyway, so book boxes, they look beautiful on the outside. They can look beautiful on the outside, and then they fill it with lots of cool stuff on the inside, depending on what the book's about. So they can really theme it and have a lot of fun with it. For instance, Shara, so I've got this beautiful arc, which isn't like, it's black and it's got this beautiful gold writing on it, but that's not what the book
That's
cover
not
is
going to
going
be
to
the final
be.
cover, right? Yeah. Okay.
No. And I've got, because they are all these different characters in there, so kind of like different guards, so kind of like different houses in Harry Potter, there's all these different guards. But anyway, I'm going into the book heaps now just because I'm super excited about it. And you get these little cards which tell you what
Oh,
guard you're in. And look, there was some other stuff. I got a tattoo as well, and some glow sticks, and there was
oh,
some fairy floss in there, but the kids have already eaten that. So, so that's got. But so you can have lots of fun with it and really theme it, and put little bits of food or those sort of fun stickers and things like that in there. Yeah, so super fun and a really great way of promoting a book.
are book boxes kind of more used for certain types of books, like middle grade or YA, or have you seen them across different age groups, like adults and?
Yeah, I've seen them across.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess obviously not everyone gets a book box. So it is very special when your publisher has gone not to the effort of it, but to the effort of producing it and I guess chosen the book to have a box that comes with it. And I guess it depends on what the book's about. Like this book lends itself to all these fun sort of things as well. I think we spoke about Rebecca Armitage as well, had a beautiful box for the heir apparent because it was sent Tasmania. It came with like beautiful Tasmanian honey and
Oh,
a little
wow.
tiara. I get a
Oh,
little
because it's
tiara
about
which
the
is cool.
royals, right?
Yeah, some tea and little bits and pieces like that. So lots of fun. Obviously, not every book can have one, but I have heard of people creating their own. And some self-published authors do this quite a lot, but there's no reason why you couldn't do it yourself to
Exactly.
help. There'd be lots of fun things. What would you put in your book box, Tash?
I was just thinking about this. I think I would have maybe some like a little coin, but I'd have to
Oh,
get them like made, like with
yeah,
some different things on it. And I
yeah.
think I'd have some kind of like a cocktail mix
Oh,
or
yeah,
like a warming spicy tea that people could
yeah.
drink while they were
Oh.
reading
That's
it.
nice. I think any of those bits and pieces that you can enjoy while you're actually reading the book to make the
Mm,
whole experience even
yeah.
better. Yeah, that's exciting. Yes, this is very exciting. You can come up with lots of things.
With Shara's book, when is
Mm.
it out? Like how far in advance do you get these book boxes?
Right, yeah. So her book is out in September. So what are we now? July. So a couple of months beforehand. And I think
Yeah.
that's it also works for, I guess, bookstagrammers or people who might promote it. Then it gives them the time and the opportunity to read the book, but
That's
also
right.
to, you know, post the images about it. It gives them something else to use for content, I guess, as well. Because normally ARCs will go out to
Mm,
pre-readers like our Bookstagram community and promotions a couple of months beforehand. So that process would normally happen, but now
mm.
but sometimes you can just pair it with a few little bits and pieces just to make it a little bit more fun.
Give it a bit of pizzazz.
Speaking of promoting books and especially new books and debut books, we wanted to have a little chat today about an article recently that was published in The Guardian, and it's just created a bit of chat, I guess, in the
Yeah.
community, hasn't it? So it was about, well, the title was Australia is publishing books too quickly and
Mm,
everyone is losing out.
mm,
It's by Katrina Menzies Pike. And yeah, I think it kind of spurred a few other little conversations and articles and things around that. And I guess the overall gist of the conversation is that a lot of books are being published. I don't know, like who knows what too many books is. We're not not too sure, or how quickly. But yeah, just the idea that there's so many books being published at the moment, and it's just making it hard to find some shelf space in a bookstore for your book. And but then also that they're then moving on from that
mm,
bookshelf fairly quickly as well,
mm.
if they're not bought.
I think it's just interesting how these trends change so fast in and of themselves. Like it felt like it wasn't that long ago that we were talking about how there are like they're not taking on too many new books and they're not taking on too many new authors, and that they're going with authors who are known and can sell, and authors who are what we call mid-list, like you have decent sales but you're not a bestseller, are not getting picked up. And now we've swung the other way, apparently, that
Mm,
there's too many books and there's too many
mm,
authors and everything's so fast. I guess
mm,
for me, I was had more questions than anything. Like you said, what are too many books? And what would be what's the point of it if that is a strategy that's happening? Like, because publishers also need to make money. So are they just publishing and publishing with the hope that one or two will somehow become some kind of bestseller that will just pay for the rest? And if that's the case, why not just target your effort into one or two and help them and support them become maybe not bestsellers, but get them out everywhere? I don't know. I'm not a publisher, so I don't really understand some of these trends or what the thinking might be behind it. But yeah, it just had raised more questions for me than anything.
Yeah,
You?
I agree. I guess there's so many variables as well, and it's just impossible to tell. I wonder if it's more, I was just thinking then, is it more that it's not that there's too many books being published, it's just that there's less readers and there's less bookstores. Could that actually be what the
Maybe.
situation is? Because, especially, with children, we are losing our readers and we know that we're losing our independent bookstores, and even our big chain bookstores close some of their stores down. So perhaps that's more of the case, so it's being felt even more.
Yes. And the interesting thing again about that is, I know this is a very specific mention, but in Sydney, we've just had a new independent bookstore open in a
Ooh,
time when all these
wow.
things are happening. It's called
Yeah.
Rose Red. I'm actually going to go and say hello next weekend. But they just, it's two people who I think are like full-time school teachers, and they've managed to open this bookshop. And they're really making it very community focused. So they're doing events. They had a big launch party, which sadly I couldn't go to, but it made me feel so motivated, inspired, and happy that someone's taking what feels like a really big risk. So yes, all of this stuff is happening. And also there are examples like this one that are bucking the trend, like going, well, you know what? We can make this work. And I think it is community that.
I was just going to say, do you think the key thing there is that it's about community? It's not just a bookshop with
Yes. Oh my
books on
God.
the shelves.
I just had this like light bulb moment. Maybe the disconnect is like publishers are treating books like a mass-produced product, like olive oil, or I don't know, like tinned goods, like where you just stack them or you just keep putting out different brands. But actually, what's actually happening is a lot of people might know their local bookshop or go in there more than once or twice a year, and they have a conversation with people in the bookshop. Like both the bookshops that are near me, every time I've gone in there, people are talking to the booksellers. Like they're talking about, what do you think of this author? And I've heard of that. And so there's that it's happening. And regardless of whether you publish 50 books a week or 10 books a week, the booksellers know, and they are putting things out there that they love. So it's not, I think maybe that could be a disconnect. Like the publishers, you know what? I actually don't know, but it just felt like a light bulb moment where I'm like,
I guess there's a few different ways of looking
yeah,
at
like
it.
obviously if you're going to Big W or Target, like you're probably not going to be talking to someone. And in that case, you're probably buying books from authors you know really well. And that's great because there's a market for that too. But maybe if you are someone who wants to read a bit differently or widely or wants some recommendations, you're probably going to ask, right?
Yeah, I think so. So it's more than just the book or the product. Like if we talk about it like it's a product, and yeah, definitely, I guess in those deep discounts, it's a product on a shelf like everything else, and that's just how they're designed. But I love that there's a new bookshop opening. That just gives me the shivers. That's so amazing because it is so much more about the community and the books and the feelings that they're bringing to the reader. And this particular article, I guess that's started this conversation recently, is it did talk about that, and publishers wanting to have the time and the space to pour into every single book, I guess, and making sure that the books find their ways into the hands of the right readers. And it is a business, like every business is trying to make money, and they've got to find ways of doing it. And especially we know in this climate you can't start increasing the price of books. People are struggling to pay for fuel and food, and it has become a luxury item. Yeah, I agree. It's more than just the book, isn't it? It's about the community and the feeling and the vibe and getting people together. And that's what I always think about when, I think about, because I've always had these fantasies of opening a bookstore, which I think
me
lots
too.
of people probably do.
Yes.
But it's actually, like I've gone a long way down that thought path to the point where it's like, how many books, my husband's like, well, how many books would you have to sell in a day to make it worthwhile. And I'm like, oh God, I didn't even think about actually the math. No, but I mean, I did, but I didn't. I was like, oh, but it's actually not about that. It's about hosting book launches. It's about having a place where kids can come and read. It's about having a place where adults can come and have a book club and have a discussion about books. And, you've got to sell some coffee so people can sit there and read and have coffee. And it was funny when I thought about it, all the things that I thought and had these plans for this bookshop, very few of them were actually about selling a book on a shelf. I was like, oh, actually being at the till and selling a book on the shelf, that was actually the smallest part of even though it's fundamental, isn't it? But it's about having readers and yes, you've got to sell books off the shelf, but it's about, and you'll do that by encouraging that community
Community
won't
hub,
you?
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yes, we need more bookstores. Okay, let's chat about this more. Tash, we might be able to start something together. But it is interesting because she did, in that article, they did chat to Jennifer Mills, who is the incoming chair of the Australian Society of Authors. And what they quoted her as saying is, authors are really reliant on community, on word of mouth recommendation, and the authentic enthusiasm of independent booksellers who hand sell books to readers. So it's certainly, although the article was kind of saying books coming out thick and fast, they're leaving the shelves very quickly. It is, she did bring it back around to emphasize exactly what we just said.
And also, I don't know if it's in that article itself, but I have read something. Yeah, so it's something around the amount of time it actually takes for a book to get into someone's hands because of word of mouth or a book club or recommendations.
They quoted some researchers who looked into books and how long I guess I was spending on the shelves, and they said that new titles usually get 3 months on Bookshop shelves.
Yeah,
If the title doesn't shift within that window, it disappears, usually returned or remaindered, in some cases never to be seen again. Sounds not great.
Well,
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, then it becomes really difficult because you want to make it easy for people. And again, if I was a bookseller, I probably would have a totally different answer to this because there is the physical shelf space issue. But if someone comes in and they buy a book based on a recommendation by a bookseller, say, and they go away and they read it a month later because they've got a massive to-read pile like most of us. And then by the time they read it and they're like, oh my God, I love this book. And they tell all their friends, and then their friends go in and the book's gone. And it's actually a challenge because you have to order it online or something. A lot of people aren't going to worry about it. Like, unless the recommendation or the person who's recommended it goes, you have to read this book, it will change your life. Like, most people are going to be like, oh, well, it's gone.
I'll pick up something else. Yeah. I wonder, it'd be interesting to know how many readers are actually reading a book within the first 3 months of it coming out. I don't know if I looked into that. Like I don't know if I ever have. It probably takes me that long to hear about it, to know about it, and then to go and find it eventually, maybe on the shelf. And if it's just not there, I might actually just not even remember it, like you were saying, which is interesting, isn't it? But like you said,
I was going to say that. I think unless you're a fan and it's an author who's written several books, like a Stephen King, you're right. You probably wouldn't get to the book in the first 3 months.
Yeah. So that just sounds, we really didn't want to sound depressing about this. And I guess it is a reality though, isn't it? And you work sometimes in a bookshelf, don't you, Tash? So
Yes,
you know what it's like. You know that there's no just empty space on those shelves. It is chock full. And when a space opens up, another one has to go in. And the person who is actually buying the books for their bookstore needs to decide, well, I need to actually make space now because I don't have space. So I have to send some back. And look, that could be in the first 3 months, but it it could be giving it a bit longer than that. I'm sure every book and every title has its own sort of merits. If it's maybe sold a few earlier but not for a little while, they're not going to automatically just send it back. They might think, oh, I'll give it another couple of months. But it is the reality that they do just have to make space for them to and make space for new books coming in. How they choose, I think, is very difficult, and I'd hate to be in that position.
Okay, so that everyone isn't so depressed listening to this, what would you suggest to say? Actually, let's find a couple of suggestions for readers and then suggestions for writers who might either have a contract or who are thinking about self-publication or self-publishing and how they can get their book out there.
Yeah. Look, I think it's a reality. Have you though actually, before we did, have you actually experienced that yourself, Tash? Did you notice that? I noticed with my first book and it went into Big W, it was kind of like once it had its time, it was gone. And I've now since that's happened, I've been looking at other authors that I know, and even multi-publish big name authors. Like I see it come in and I see it go. And yeah, so that definitely is a thing. But I found with the smaller stores, the books have my books have been hanging around a bit longer. So I definitely think it's those bigger chains where it's a bit faster. Have you noticed that?
So mine never made it into a Big W. It was always only sold in like bookshops as opposed to like department stores. Most of them have disappeared. So there's like one or two maybe copies every now and then I might see, but most of them have gone. But it is over a year. Having said that, it is absolutely delightful because I'm still getting, not a lot, but every now and then a message from a reader going, I just read it. So I'm like, this is really cool that over a year later, it's still kind of people are mentioning it or recommending it.
Yeah. And you know, it's still in libraries.
Yes.
That's the thing. Our books are still in libraries, and that's
Yes.
a very important and positive note. Is libraries are a fantastic way of your books getting out there, and you know what? It's free for people, so that's
Exactly.
even better.
Exactly.
And you know, with our ELR, PLR payments that we get from publishing a book now, that goes into the libraries. Authors still get benefited from that. And I find, and schools as well. So school libraries are also a big thing. So I have found, I guess, doing events, and this all comes back to community as well, doesn't it? Doing events and actually being out in person is how I think you can shift the needle on that and keep selling your books, because your books are still around. They are still, as long as they're still in print, you can try and book as many events as you can, school visits as much as you can. I'm doing a special episode in a couple of weeks on school visits. So tune in for that one if you're not sure how to do that or need some tips. But, you know, going to school visits, hitting the road, going and seeing your local booksellers or your booksellers, and just asking to pop in and doing little workshops, you know, an author talk. They'll often order in some books especially for it. I think that's a really good way of making sure that it's still staying current and still being out there.
And I think that if you don't have the capacity to do a lot of those things, like events and workshops, say, I think a good way to just keep your book in a shop beyond the 3 months is really establishing a relationship with the bookseller. And I know we've said this over and over, but it's really important. And also, it just helps the bookseller know who you are and who's around, especially if you've got a bookshop in your neighborhood or close to you. Booksellers love to say our local author, this author lives locally. So you're actually helping them as well to have a way to sell your book. And, you know, and lots of booksellers are like lots of readers, as in they want to read it all, but they can't. So if you go in, introduce yourself well before your book's coming out, hopefully, just so, you know, they can have a bit of time. And you can just tell them how they can sell it. You can help them. Like you can give them the little pitch. You can tell them you're available. I know, for example, Roaring Stories, they do little quick videos of their authors for their website.
Oh, that's
and their
cool.
Insta page. So just little things like that. And you can make it easy for them by asking them what would be helpful. And I think a tip for readers is I am very ferocious when I give reading recommendations. I basically start my recommendation going, you just have to read this. There's no other option. And then I tell them what they have, like my friends, what they have to read. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh, okay. And then they rush out and get it. So I think if you really love a book and you want to tell your friends and family about it, just be really ferocious. And you know what? You can even buy them copies as presents.
That's a great idea. Yeah. And contact the author. I'm sure they would love to sign it as well. Oh, really?
Yeah.
They would love to sign it. And that's a great idea. And I guess if you're in the midst of a book coming out soon and wanting to know how you can help with this, publishers are so open and really like the idea of authors helping to sell the book. Some publishing houses they're small and they don't have publicists. So just working with them, I guess, because, you know, all these publishers, they're doing the job because they love books. They would love nothing more than to just pour all their
Exactly.
heart and soul and time into every single one of them, but they can't.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
everyone has deadlines, and just saying, what can I do? Give me some tips or some advice, or what if I do this and this and this? And they would love to hear that, and they can tell you how you can be proactive about the marketing or the
Exactly.
publicity or.
And you could even go a step further if you feel confident enough, especially if you have skills like you work in events or publish marketing, or anyway, you've got a skill about, doing something. Even if your skill is, I'm really, really shy, but I'm very confident talking to my family and friends, you can give them ideas. Like, I don't want to do a big event at a library, but what I can do is I can go to my kids' local rugby club and do a little thing there, or I can mention it to my parents group. I don't know. There's lots and lots of ways you can get your book out there. And if you feel confident, you can present some ideas to your publisher or your publicist, and they'll can tell you, oh yes, let's do that. Let's try that. Let's do that.
Yeah. And because they have really good contacts too. So they might not
Exactly.
have the time to work on it with you, but they definitely have the contacts and can just put you in front of the right people as well, which is really handy. Obviously, if you're not there yet with a contract or any of your books signed, even if you are, I think you just got to bring everything back to remembering the why of why you're writing. Publishing is great, right? Like, what a fun ride. How lovely to have, a publishing house have support you and enjoy your work so much that they actually want to invest in you and print it. But always remembering that I was a writer long before any publisher ever saw my work or I signed any contract. And I did that I wrote with no intentions of being published, just because of the pure joy of it, literal joy, and I would still be doing that today anyway, just because I enjoyed it.
And you are, or Tina, because a lot of your projects that
Mm-hmm.
you're working on, you don't have a contract yet, and you don't have, so you
Mm-hmm.
are doing it for the love of it.
Yep, that's it. I have so many ideas that I just love to write them, but they're not signed with anyone.
Exactly.
It is just because I love it and I can't not do it. And it is always just bringing that back, and I guess just remembering that the publishing side of it is all just a nice little bonus. What do you think, Tash?
Totally. Like, I'm writing something new as well. I have no idea about how I'll sell it, or even if I can sell it, and it doesn't matter because I'm just loving it.
Yep.
It's flowing. Yep.
Yeah. It's the joy, chase the joy.
Yes.
And just remember it, and maybe it'll get published one day, and how cool.
Maybe it won't, and it doesn't matter because
No.
I just want to write it. Yeah.
Yep. That's it. As long as it's bringing you joy. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, if you are writing, there seems to be lots of opportunities at the moment, Tash, to help people with their writing. There was a few around. Did you want to have a chat about one of them?
So the latest one is, oh God, it sounds amazing. It's a partnership between Create New South Wales and Writing New South Wales. And they've just announced it's called Stories Matter, and it's fellowships. I had a very quick look at the guidelines. So I'm pretty sure you have to be a resident of New South Wales.
You do,
or mainly live here. So if you're in another state, sorry, but it's still an amazing opportunity. So there's 3 categories, and I think it's 10 fellowship places in total. And so there's an emerging writer, a mid-career, and then an established writer category. And basically you get $50,000 to write, essentially, or to give you time so that you can have that money to be able to write. So go onto the Writing New South Wales website or the Create New South Wales website, and you'll see the application form, all the criteria. Applications close on the 27th of July. So you've still got lots of time.
And it's also for illustrators and playwrights too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Just check out the criteria for each category, because it's pretty clear what you need to have had published or not, depending on the category that you think you might be in.
So by the time this episode goes to air, you'll still have a couple of weeks. So no excuses. Get onto it.
Yeah.
And then another one that's closing also around the same time. You might know a bit more about this, Tash, as well. The Wheeler Centres program, the next chapter.
The next chapter. Yes. The next chapter is for emerging writers.
Yep. So $15,000 stipend paired with a mentor to work for 12 months to progress a major writing project, and that closes on the 31st of July. So still a few weeks to get in there and check out those details.
Yes.
Tash, any top tips for our audience today?
Oh, keep writing.
That's a good one. Keep writing and don't forget the why and the joy of it. So even though there's, a lot of negative press, I guess, at the moment, as yes, in publishing and writing, but in the whole entire world at the moment, when it comes to writing, we do it because we love it. So keep doing it. And it will surely always be positive if you're doing it for those reasons.
And actually, I just want to adapt that a little bit to say, and you don't have to write 2,000 words every single day.
No, don't.
Because, Stephen King does it full time. Like, that's his job. So most of us do not have that as our main job. So do what keeps you interested and keeps the joy alive.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, I love that, Tash. So lovely talking to you again today. And I hope you have a wonderful writing month. Maybe next month you'll say that you didn't have much on.
Let's hope so.
Can you make that your goal?
No, because I've got my workshop coming up and my festival. Actually, I'll have lots of fun things to talk about next time.
Cool. Very exciting. Well, I look forward to chatting then, Tash.
You too. Have a good month. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Book Deal podcast. If you are enjoying the pod, we'd really appreciate you following or sharing the show in your podcast directory, checking us out on Instagram and Facebook, or supporting us through our Patreon community at patreon.com/the Book Deal podcast.